Hi folks, welcome back. This is episode 10 of GingerLion's modded Minecraft Let's Play. I am just about to go set up my quarry, and I wanted you guys to see how that process works. Now, first thing I had to do was punch some holes in my home because I wanted to let some natural light down into the cave system where I'm going to be working. That's because monsters spawn here, and I don't like it much. So, first thing I'm going to do is take down my various torches in the corners and my markers because first of all I need the markers, and second of all I don't want to confuse anything. These place markers are used for the Buildcraft quarry in its process, and so if these are up they may very well mess with the quarry itself. Don't want that. So first thing that we're going to do is make ourselves a place for the quarry to exist in the first place. Now, when you build a quarry, and it builds its... The first thing it does is build its quarry frame. And that frame is demarcated by these landmarks. Now, the thing is, when it builds its frame, anything that it's going to remove is all going to be inside that frame. In other words, it's not going to remove these blocks to set up the frame, but down below, it's going to leave these blocks in. That's exactly what I want, because I want to make sure that I clear out all of this space, but only this space. So what I need to do is come all the way down here, punch a hole in this corner, put down my landmark, and then go all the way over into this corner, and set up my third landmark. You'll note that because I placed a redstone torch next to any source of redstone will do, a lever or a torch. You could use a pressure plate, but that'd be silly. It'll only work when you stepped on it. Because I put this here, it made those blue lasers. Now, if I right-click on this, it will establish laser connections between all of those. And if you see that red line, it actually makes a box. So this is the defined area in which a quarry, if placed down, would function. So I'm going to place the quarry down. Yes, I'm in Batmorph. It makes it just a little bit easier for me to do this sorts of things. There's the quarry. You'll note the quarry will keep 12 chunks loaded. That's good, because I want it to continue to function whether I'm nearby or not. Now, first thing is, I would like all the items from this quarry to go there. Good. There's the items. Now, I need power to run this quarry. Note, what I just put down was this ender chest, which anything that goes in it will end up in my sorting system upstairs. I do wish my sorting system were a little bit more, I don't know, discriminating and sorty-y, but that's fine. We'll get to that a little bit later. I actually don't want to do all the work to make that until we have our basement appropriately built to put that in. So, next thing that we need is power. Now, the power is going to come from this hardened energy conduit. And what I would like is to power that by magmatic dynamos. And I happen to know that the quarry uses up to 25 Minecraft joules a tick. In redstone flux, that's 250. Because redstone flux is 1/10 of a Minecraft joule. So these make 8. 8, 16, 20, 24. That's as much as is necessary to run a quarry at full speed, but I want to be 100% sure, because, I don't know, I'm that kind of guy. I want to be 100% sure that my quarry is running at the maximum speed it can possibly run at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap one more up here and one more there, and that makes sure that my quarry is running as fast as it possibly can. And then, wow, I'm awfully close to the surface. If you look up there, you can probably see grass. Yep. I'm going to put this ender tank up here, and I'm going to click it once, which I believe will switch it over to output mode. And if I am correct, when I do this, nope, I was wrong. That didn't work. So let's go see what's going on. There. Now it's in output mode. All of these should be filling up with lava, which means that they all should be producing power, which should be flowing into the quarry. And if you'll note, the quarry is going ahead and laying out its laser. Now, I carefully dug enough depth here that this quarry won't cut into my basement, but obviously I didn't go through and make sure that there was no fluids outside of this neighborhood. I'm going to have to babysit this quarry through its entire process because I care quite a lot what this area looks like when I'm done. So, I'm actually going to spend the next several hours while this quarry works its way down babysitting it. So, I'm going to go off camera. This is basically going to work its way around and build itself this outside quarry frame, and then once it's finished building this frame, it's going to assemble some pipes in it and begin digging straight down. So, I am going to go off camera while this entire process runs, and I will see you all when this is done. Hello folks, welcome to GingerLion's Minecraft Modded Let's Play, episode 11. So at the end of my last episode, I had just finished setting up the quarry and was beginning to mine out the area underneath my house. So, here is a picture of that quarry in action. Here, while working through, I found myself a lava field. I don't have the information immediately visible on the screen, but this is at a relatively high level. This is pretty close to my actual house itself. There is the quarry working its way toward that. I got a little nostalgic and liked the fact that outside my bedroom window, you could see the village nearby with the sun going down over it. I took this picture. What I was doing was, every day, I would go down into the area where the quarry was operating. If you look at the walls here, you can see that there's cobblestone all over the place and no holes. Every time the quarry found itself an ore in the walls, I would mine that out. Every time it found out a hole, I would fill it, because I wanted this to be a nice, clean, clear cube all the way down to bedrock. And so as night would fall, I would fly back up, drop off all the items that I could, and sleep so that no monsters spawned down here. There were probably 30 monsters all told that spawned in this process, because I didn't always get up to bed in time. But it at least got me a lot less monsters than if I had just stayed working all night. Here's a view down into the quarry from up high. In the lower right hand corner, you can see the orange pipes that the quarry sets up around its perimeter. Here is a view as we get further and further down to the bottom. The fog begins to set in. It starts to look like you can't see very far, but if you just hop off the ground just a little bit, you can. This is what happens when you jump just a little bit off the ground. Here, if you look at the hole in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, there's a torch in it, and sort of what looks like a carved hallway. That's because I had begun cutting down with the quarry into a set of branch mining tunnels that I had been using earlier. If you see along the bottom edge of the screen, there are all these the left edge of the screen, there are all these horizontal cuts, and then there's one that goes all the way through the screen up to the top. Those are the branch mines that I had set up. If you'll notice, there are a whole bunch of torches in that neighborhood and no ores. That's because I had successfully found all of the ores that were in effectively the bottom left quadrant of the screen. So, here is further down, what it looks way up above. Another shot from up top as we're getting closer toward bedrock. And there's my first picture with bedrock visible in the screen. If you notice down in the bottom center, there's that speckled bedrock, and a little bit just above it of dark iron ore. Here's some more dark iron ore, and if you'll notice, the screen is covered in a little bit of speckly effects. For those who haven't been down near bedrock during daylight, that's what the bedrock effect looks like when there's sunlight shining on it. Here we are, almost all the way done. I'm starting to get excited, so I take a couple of pictures of the quarry as it cuts the last couple blocks, and finally, there is my completed quarry. I hope you like that, folks. Now, I'm going to step into game and show you. Hello, folks. So, I have finished with my quarry, in fact, to the point where I managed to put in my open blocks. If you'll note, as you can see down there, I have a slime chunk somewhere in this collection. I'm probably going to use that to make a slime grinder relatively soon in this space, but that's neither here nor there. As you can see, if you see the holes that are still in the ceiling here, those were to provide daylight so that I have daylight down here, which will reduce monster spawning. Now that it's down to bedrock, nothing except slimes really spawns on bedrock, so I can close my house back up, which will be very nice. What were the results of my labor? Well, I was almost completely out of coal. Here you can now see the coal that I have. I completely filled up and then have used up a chunk of the cobblestone, completely full of dirt, a reasonable amount of gravel, good bit of redstone here, and these chests, which are full of all sorts of wonderful and useful things that I dug both out of the ground and transported from my other base. I had some serious inventory control problems because I had set this up horribly. As you see, I switched to logistics chassis and put in... where's my wrench? I can show you. Since you can see my chests are packed full of all sorts of stuff that are sorted very poorly. Polymorphic item sinks. What those do is this. If the system sees that there's already a block in here of that type, then it considers this a safe place to put these items, which allowed me to sort out everything very quickly. And I pulled out all the items that I didn't expect to find copies of down underground. Division sigils and thickened glass and gold ingots. The sort of things that I make or find in special places. So there you go. That's what my situation looks like right now. I need to move all of this out of this room. I don't want it all here. There are a couple of things that I intend to put here in terms of storage chests and whatnot, but this stuff is not it. So my next step is going to be, starting on this level, I'm going to fill this entire thing in. I wish I could use glowstone bricks, but I'm just pretty much out of glowstone right now. So instead, I'm going to use edged stone bricks and glowstone for lighting purposes. So my next major project is filling in this floor so that I can start with the process of bringing down my logistics system, bringing down my storage devices, and starting to run things up into the house that I want there, as opposed to that I had to put here while this project was going on. So let me spend just a little while filling in this neighborhood, and then I'll be back. Hi there, folks. So, let me show you what I've got done. So far, I've laid this out, and I've pretty much run out of these edge stone bricks. And I could make more by hand, but I'm reaching the point where I'm frustrated with hand production of things, so time for me to start this process. So, let me show you what I'm going to start with. The first thing that I feel like I really need to do is set up power production down there. So, hardened energy conduits, magmatic dynamo, fluid duct, an ender tank, you know, the stuff that I've been working with. Let's see. Do I have any more conduit around here? If not, I'm going to need to make some by hand. Fluid duct? No. There's some energy conduit. Good. As you can see, all this stuff is completely unsorted because I intend on building a sorting system soon, and some masochistic part of me figured it was probably a good idea to leave all this stuff so that you could see my sorting system when I built it. I know I have more dynamos somewhere, and I'd like to use a collection of them. Oh yeah, I have them set up over there. That's fine. 4 should be enough to get started. Now, the various levels, there are several different levels of energy conduits. It's important to know that these are the hardened ones. There are let me just energy conduit. If you take a look at the various energy conduits that exist, there's the leadstone, which sends 80 redstone flux a tick. Each one of these generators generates 80 redstone flux, which means that this leadstone energy conduit, the most basic one that exists, can only transfer the energy of one generator. The hardened energy conduit carries 400. That means that it can carry the energy of 5 generators, and I'm about to attach 4 to it. I know that's not going to be enough for the long-term needs of my base. It gets me started. but it's not long term. Finally, the redstone energy conduit carries 10,000. That's clearly where I'm going to, but if I take a look at the recipe for it involves filling a redstone energy conduit with destabilized redstone, and this is made with electrum and hardened glass. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I used up all of my electrum making floors up above. So I'm completely out of electrum, and other than what I got from my latest mining venture, I'm almost completely out of gold. So I can't make these right now. So I'm going to start with what I have, and that'll allow me to bootstrap myself towards a process that will work better. So, how do I want this laid out? Let's just get started with that, and these 4 generators attached to it, and this fluid duct bringing them lava. Turn to blue, they're producing power. Easy peasy. So, now that I have power, what do I wish to attach to that power? Well, the first thing that I'd really like to attach to that power is I don't have in my inventory. So let's see if I have the things necessary to make it, because I'm about to need to make more of this edged stone brick. Let me show you the recipe. I've seen it enough times recently to be bored of it. It's 4 cooked stone surrounding 5 stone bricks. It does make 9, so it comes out as an even recipe, but stone bricks are made out of stone. So I end up having to cook 9 stone for each 9 stone that I produce. If I'm doing that with coal, that's very expensive. That's what I've been doing up till now, using old-fashioned furnaces. I don't want to do that anymore. That seems crazy. So, actually, I'm not sure that I want these laid out this way. Shift right-click, by the way, is what I use to break this. So, let me take a look at what Thermalcraft, Thermal Expansion, sorry, what Thermal Expansion has available for blocks. And one of the things that it has is the redstone furnace. The recipe looks a little intimidating. It's going to take some bricks. Those are easy to make. They're just 4 cooked clay. Okay, that's easy enough. Copper. We've got plenty of copper. A redstone reception coil, which does take a gold ingot, so I may have to smelt a little bit of gold. We shall see. And a machine frame, which is, you could make it out of steel, but that seems silly given that you can do the exact same thing out of iron, and some basic glass. So I'm going to go collect the materials from up above and make myself a couple of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, folks, so while I was away, I made 5 of these redstone furnaces, which is overkill. I really only intend to use 2 of them in this process. And 2 of these cyclic assemblers. This is a block that allows you to automate crafting processes. It's not the best one that we have available. I will be making some of those later, but I want to at least show you the recipe for it. It's really just a chest and some tin gears, along with that same machine frame and redstone reception coil we were looking at earlier. And I made 2 schematics, which are made from blue dye or lapis lazuli, and some paper. That's very easy. So let me show you what it is that I intend to produce. First, I am going to smelt some stone and feed that into a cyclic assembler, which is going to allow me to turn it into bricks. Parallel, I'm going to smelt some stone and feed the combination of those 2 into a cyclic assembler, which will turn it all into this edged stone bricks, which I want. So, now, first, let me set everything up. I'm going to have to go get myself some cobblestone from up above. Let me go grab some. Actually, while I'm at it, I'm just going to do this the easy way. I'm going to use my gravity gun and take the entire barrel of stone down here. Now, I think I'm about to move my sorting system down here, so I might as well just take this and place it right there. And then take my wrench and rotate it to front. There. Now I have a source of bricks. Now, I needed a couple of these because I wanted to... I need some smooth stone right now, and I'm not sure if I have any. So let me just actually use this in a most basic way to process some of this into smooth stone. So, all of these machines are going to require power to operate. So, just the easiest thing that I can possibly do is just to connect them all right now. And I may need to get to the sides of them. So, oh, what a silly thing to have put there. Fluid ducts aren't going to help me at all. I'm hearing crunching noises, which makes me think there's a monster somewhere, but I can't see it. So, there we are. Those are all connected to power. You'll notice redstone flux is filling up in this furnace. For the moment, I'm going to shift-click on the center block of this configuration, and that turns off all of its outputs. So, let me toss some cobblestone in it, let that smelt up, and that'll allow me to make some of the recipes that I'm looking for. Okay, so the first recipe that I really care about is here. We're going to put a blueprint in here. Now, whenever you're using a cyclic assembler and trying to set up its schematic, you need to turn off NEI. That's just by hitting the O button. NEI is now off. So now, I need to set up the recipe for stone bricks. That's the recipe that I want. Now, anything that gets fed in here, which is can be done by any blue side, and let me set, yep, the top is blue. Let me turn the rest of these off because I don't need them right now. The top is blue. Now, if I set this to output from the bottom, now the redstone furnace is set to output from the bottom, and I'm going to take a stack of stone and toss it in here. Watch what happens. It's going to smelt it up into smooth stone, which is automatically pushed down into this inventory, and as soon as there are 4 of them, because that's what's necessary to make this recipe, it's immediately going to turn it into stone bricks. Now, I want that to be output to the bottom, which puts it in here. This blueprint is going to be made, I want it to input also from the side. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to make the 9-edged stone bricks that we were looking at earlier. So, I now have this set up. Now, let me make sure this is set correctly. No, I don't think it is. I want input from the side, and I would like to output to the bottom. So now, this should output to the right. If I'm correct, we're now feeding in stone bricks from above and smooth stone from the left, and this cyclic assembler is going ahead and making edge stone bricks for me so that I don't have to go through this process myself. So now, there are a couple more things that I'd like to do. So let me go off camera for just a minute. I'm going to bring some things down here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to set this up. Okay, folks, so I just moved these barrels down here and tore out my logistics system from up above, and I'm moving it down here. So I want to show you how I'm going to configure these. First of all, this pipe needs a item sync module. Yes, an item sync module. And I need to make sure that it is item sunk for cobblestone. I also, and this is new, need to put in a provider module in it. What that provider module will do is it will empty for all, include all of this, anything that's in here. It will provide this to anything on the network requesting it. And I would like to make sure that it leaves one item per type. What that really means is it's not going to take the last cobblestone out of this barrel. So, let me go ahead and use this cobblestone transport pipe to attach these. Just a moment. That's now connected to a logistics network. Now, I want to take some things over here. And so I built a new type of pipe you guys haven't seen before. The recipe is very simple. It's some lapis on either sides of a basic logistics pipe. But so what I need one here and one there. Now, I need to configure this to accept input from the top. Bink, see it connected. And this needs to accept input from the left. And that connected. So, what do these pipes do? Well, they will attempt to keep stocked in the attached inventory whatever it is that I tell them to. So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to partial, which means that it's willing to order anything that it needs in an attempt to get this. And I want it to keep... just a moment. So if I click in here with an item, it'll place that stack there. If I left-click on that, it'll reduce it by 1. If I right-click, it'll increase it by 1. If I hold Shift and right-click, it'll increase it by 10. So I want it to keep 32 stone in here. What does that mean, really? That means that it's going to feed 32 stone in here, which is going to cook, and send over here, which will produce us some more edge stone bricks. And I wish to do the same thing up here. So again, I'm going to set it to partial. I'm going to left click once. I'm going to shift right click twice. And I'm going to right click twice more. There. Now I have these both set to, please, if even remotely possible, gather some cobblestone and load them into your inventories. But at the moment they're not connected to the logistics sorting system. So let me connect them. Now, easiest way to do that is probably right up over the top. I'm perfectly happy with connecting over the top of this item. Boonk, boonk. Now, as soon as this happens, I'd like you to watch. This is connected, requested, and transmitted. There are now enough cobblestone in each one of these. And then, as soon as it cooks up one more cobblestone, it'll transfer it over. This is the advantage of using the partial methodology. If you wish to decrease the usage of your system, you can set this to bulk 50. What that means is when 50% of the need is there, for example, in this case, when there are 16 cobblestone missing, it'll go ahead and request 16. It won't request 1 at a time. Okay, so that's all wonderful. I think this is a great way of handling this problem, but I still need somewhere for this stuff to go. Let me go upstairs once more, really quick, because I clearly forgot one important item in this process. I need a chest. Now, I could use something much more complicated, but for right now, all I care about is a chest, and I happen to have a hopper already in my inventory, so I'm going to go use these two things. Now, place the chest right here, and I'm going to take this hopper, and I'm going to connect it. Now, this is already set to output, so when I place this, I should be able to open this chest and see that it's full of edge stone bricks. And now this system empties out, and because it's going to be fed by this and this will turn, every time it has 4 stone, it'll turn it into some bricks. Bang. It'll ship them down below. which will be added to this inventory, which will be used to make our final product here, these edge stone bricks. If you'll notice, they're now ticking into the inventory at a pretty steady rate. So, there you are, folks. There is the first automation of my first production process. This is not particularly smooth, but you got to see configurations for the cyclic assembler. And you got to see configuration for a redstone furnace, some transport pipes using the logistics pipe system, and some basic ways of getting items around. In the next episode, after I finish this floor, I'm going to consider some more complicated methodologies and improve our sorting system. I hope you see me next time. Hey folks, I just wanted to film one little addendum. I had just reached the point where I have most of my glowstone laid out. I'm still working my way through. I have plenty more glowstone bricks, and that's a nice thing. That'll allow me to light up specialty areas. And I just thought this looked really cool, so I just wanted to add this as a quick little addendum to the video. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time.